Hello, hello. Happy International Women's Day. It's funny, I knew this day was coming. It didn't click to me what day it was. And then it's today. And so I was going to go live tomorrow to kind of do a weekly live and talk a little bit more about this No Flaw series and what it means to be enough as women. And God's been really working on my heart this week. And I just want to share with you some of those ways. And if you're here watching live or you're watching the replay, please say hello, introduce yourself if you haven't yet, and kind of just share with me your heart as we go along. I'm going to share this video quickly in my Healthy and Thriving Women's Facebook group that if you're a woman and you're not a part of it, you should join. So I think I titled this, I can't remember what I titled this, just standing in the gap for women everywhere to both know and see that they are enough. And I thought it is the perfect time to talk about this on International Women's Day. So if you know me, you know that really since coming to really know the love of God for me in my life, I have always wanted to let women know their worth. Started a small group Bible study in college called Women of Worth, where we study different passages where how God interacts with women and their worth or value is clearly shown there. The work that I do with even with me coming to breaking free of my food struggles had to do with my worth and knowing I was enough. And now this month, as we talk about this No Flaw series, knowing I am enough, knowing you are enough, I started to go back and to say that, I feel like that is my mission, is to really help women know they are enough. Hi, whoever joined, feel free to say hello and comment. And if I don't see your comments, I'm sorry, I will comment later. I had to remember, I felt like God was uprooting my heart again for a particular set of women around the world, locally, probably, that want to truly believe that they are enough and they have value and they have worth. But everything is telling them otherwise, and everyone is showing them otherwise. And so when I became really committed to following God, I started to learn a lot about injustice. I started to learn a lot about the problems that avail a lot of women. In particular, human trafficking, sex trafficking, rape, prostitution, all of these different things, abuse, all these things. And as I learned more, my heart exploded. It exploded with anger. It exploded with compassion. It exploded with righteous, it just exploded. And I just wondered, I don't know if I wonder why anymore as much as I just was called to act on it. And so there's two books that I'm going to quickly talk about as we go through this. There's one called Daughter of Hope. They're both by the same organization. She Is Safe for Sisters in Service. I'm not sure which they go to by now. And Forgotten Girls. And I read both of these books in college. Around this time, I was thinking a lot about, these problems that avail many women around the world, locally, around. Hey, Nathania, hope you're doing well. Congrats, by the way, your new baby. And I started to really hear and see the problems that avail much women. That in certain countries, such as India, there are castes, and the elite class are known as the Untouchable. And to be a Christian in that class, or to be a woman, really means you have no rights. You have no privilege, you have no nothing. And the way women are treated in some cultures, in some countries, and even in our own country, we're not seen as having much value or worth. So then that's why many of us who struggle with that believe that. But there are literally people around the world who don't have choice, who are in some sort of poverty. Poverty not just meaning they don't have money, but poverty meaning they are lacking choice, are in some sort of situation where they are constantly being told and treated as that they have no value. And that makes me angry. It makes me so angry that I get sick to my stomach sometimes. It makes me angry when I hear stories and stories of women and men too. This happens to being trafficked for enforced labor or being trafficked to be prostitutes and put in brothels against their will. That oppression, the physical act of oppressing women, particularly in that way, it makes me angry. Like the heart of God, I think, comes out. And it just really makes it hard for women to believe they have value. It makes it hard for women to believe they are enough. It makes it hard for women to, and then forget that most of the illiterate people around the world are women and children, because they're denied the ability to go to school. They're denied the ability to learn anything. And so how are they going to advance if they don't have that? And I just wanted to say that we who are in basically the developed world, or who have choice, who have power, in some way need to stand in the gap with our sisters around the world and say, I see you. I'm for you. God sees you. God is for you. And you have value and worth, even though you may not feel it now, even though you may not see it now. And one organization that I love is She Is Service, Sisters in Service, and She Is Safe. I think if you go to sheissafe.com, you'll find them. I'm going to put the link in here after when I'm done so you can explore. This irked me so much one time that I literally did a 5K one time, and I raised something for myself. It was me and my husband and one other person. We ran. It didn't matter. And I raised a lot of funds, though, because people want to fight this issue, want to fight the issue of women not having their rights, want to fight the issue of poverty, of lack of education, of domestic, physical, sexual abuse. We want to fight this because even though there's been so many advances in giving women equal rights and equality, there are a lot of countries and a lot of cultures that is not true. And although we're going to celebrate this International Women's Day and celebrate that we, the worth and value of the women, I want us to not forget. I want us to not forget the women around the world who do not feel celebrated. And, we need to start somewhere. We need to start celebrating our own mothers, our own sisters, our own friends, those people that inspire us. And it's been beautiful to see that across social media, to witness that, to be a part of that. But I want to stand in the gap and challenge you to really somehow, whether it's through prayer, whether it's through being involved in an organization, whether it's through giving, celebrate women around the world who literally are not being celebrated, are being the opposite, are being tortured, are being beaten, are being told that they can't get education because they're a woman, are told that there are so many things happening. And the more I learn, the more my heart hurts, and the more I want to run, but the more I want to run to it. And these two are really great books. I started to reread Daughters of Hope again. And then I'm going to read Forgotten Girls again. And I just want to call us to continue to fight for men and women around the world that aren't being celebrated. And women, join me. And, as I continue to talk about how helping you know you are enough this month, whether it's through the podcast I'm doing, Restoring Your Relationship with Food, Your Body, and Yourself, whether it's through the master classes that I'm doing locally and online on the 15th and 19th about getting deeper into these things and creating statements of truth, and then practically essential oil blends to shift that. And even my program, my 6-month program where we're going to go deeper into this, I want us to not forget. I want us to not forget that although we're feeling this, and although we need to retrain our mind, we need to also remember that there are people that they can't even comprehend the choice of retraining their mind. Because I'm saying to you, hey, you're enough, hey, you're worth it, hey, you're valuable. And many people, you may not be saying that, but there are people around the world that no one is saying that to them. No one is celebrating them, and no one is practically treating them that way either. And that breaks my heart, just like it breaks the heart of God. I'm going to tell you a quick story. So in John 8, I believe, there's a woman that's caught in the act of adultery. Mind you, it takes both a man and a woman to commit adultery. Just saying. There's someone else involved. The woman is brought, and the religious people say, hey, she was caught in the act of adultery. The old scriptures say we need to stone her. Jesus starts writing on the ground. First of all, and they're like, what are you writing? Doesn't matter. He says, Then he looks up and says, you who is without sin, you who hasn't done anyone any wrong, hasn't done God wrong, you throw the first stone at her. You know what happens? Every single person walks away. And first of all, the eldest, who are considered the wisest, they started to walk away until no one is left. And Jesus looks at the woman. Who knows how she's dressed? Who knows what's happening? But he looks at her, and instead of judgment, he says, woman, is there no one here to judge you? She's like, no one, sir. Then neither do I. Go and leave your life, this life that brought you here. But he releases her. He frees her. How many women are just waiting for us to bless them and release them from shame, release them from guilt, right? How many women? And if that's you, if you are the one that needs to be released, I say, hey, I release you. God releases you. There is love at his hand. There is grace at his hand. And so I am standing in the gap between God and you and saying, God loves you. There's no need to feel ashamed. There's no need to feel guilt. You are enough. You are worthy. You are valuable. He knit you together in your mother's womb. He thought your whole life and planned it out in a blueprint before you even came to being. But I also stand in the gap between women who I may never actually get to talk to. I may never actually be able to give them that message. But I can pray to my spirit and trust that God is going to relay it to them, or trust that there's going to be someone. And I can take some action in some way to enable those who are saying that to them, who are in these organizations. But will you stand in the gap with me? Will you stand in the gap with me for yourself? Maybe if you're struggling with this area, this is why I've created all of these classes, all of these freebies, all of these programs. I don't just do this for this. I mean, it is really fun, but I do this because literally I believe that I'm stepping in between darkness and light, and I'm saying the light's over there, so go to the truth, go to the way, right? That's what I feel, that's what I'm doing. But we need together to also, you need to do it for yourself, and we need to do it for others, right? To band a community of women together where we're really standing in the gap and saying, hey, you're valuable, I'm valuable, we're valuable. Not one over the other. No comparison. We're not, no. And I did a post today, you could check on my Facebook, just around me and how I often compare myself in the gym and when I really shouldn't. You could look at that post on my Facebook page, but I'll post it in later, and I'll probably do a video because that's really important too. But I thought since it was Women's Day, I would let you know what's really been going on in my heart too in regards to this stuff and why I do what I do. Anyways, I gotta go. But hope you're well. And if this inspired you at all in any ways or impacted you, please let me know in the comments below. Would love to just continue this conversation with you. And of course, I would love for you to journey with me this month, whether it's through the podcast and the journal that goes with that, whether I hope it's through the masterclass where I can actually talk to you and work this out with you, and even through my 6-month program. Registration for that opens officially March 19th, but I am talking with women one-on-one to just see from now if it's a good fit so that they can get a spot reserved. And it's all about this. It's all about moving from flawed to flourish and start shifting to being more than enough in your whole health and life. Because you already are, but we just need to shift our mind, emotions, and habits around that. Alrighty. Bless you on this International Women's Day. And if there are men watching this, go bless your women. Go bless the women you know. Go bless the women you don't know. And stand in the gap.